Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make these super cute custom like name plaques, if you will. You could put your a baby's name on it, with their birthday, the day that they're their weight, you know what I'm talking about, all those kind of things, kind of like a birth announcement. You could do somebody's anniversary or anything like that, just a last name, super cute. But anyways, I got these tiles right here. They're about 23 inches by 6 inches. I got these tiles from Lowe's and they are about $1.19 a piece. So if you don't know, you can actually go to Lowe's, and some of their tiles, like a majority of them, you can buy them individually by themselves, and they're super cheap, sometimes between 30 cents to $1 something. So it looks like real wood. You could always do this on real wood. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make these bigger flowers today with the individual petals from Cricut Design Space. I will also have those files linked down below. And if you want to know how to make these kind of flowers, I'll also have that link down below. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I've already got all my stuff cut out, including my name and stuff that's going to go on there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to have it linked down below so you guys can watch this if you guys haven't already seen how to do these kinds of flowers. So I'm not going to do these on camera just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to move all these pieces out of the way. What we're going to focus on, and then you can see I've also cut these pieces out. This is what it's going to look like. You've got the little greenery. Then I cut these out in the gold foil, which is totally preference or whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to move all these pieces out of the way. So the ones that we're going to work on today is the white flower, because I'm going to show you more of the individual. These are going to be our center. So this is going to be the center for this one. And then on the pink one, this is going to be the center for this one. Now, I had a little bit of mess ups whenever it was cutting out, but no big deal. I'll take my scissors and kind of clean those up here in a minute. So this is going to be our centers. Now, this is another one that I did. It's the exact same size, except for I made this a little bit bigger. And all I did on this one, instead of it being 12 leaves, it is 16, and I actually brought them out further on the circle. So, but we're going to make it the other way, but I'm going to show you how you could do it if you wanted it to be a little more spaced out like this one. This is the one that we're going to be doing for our project, but if you wanted it to be more spaced out like this is 16 petals, this is 12. I made this a little bit bigger than this one. So that's all that you would have to do. The petals are the exact same size. It's just 16, 12, and then the center is going to be bigger, which this is our center piece. Like I said, we're going to be making this one today. Set this out of the way here. And what we're going to work on first is our petals. So what you're going to do, you guys all zoomed in now. So what we're going to do is take a pair of scissors, and you're going to come down at the bottom so you can see that it's got this tip here. You're going to come down here at the bottom of the petals, and you're just going to snip. So it's just a little bit, about a ½ an inch or so on every single one of these petals. And we only need 12, but I went ahead with this file. You're going to have all 16 just in case you want to do it the other way. And I like to have extras on hand just in case. Sometimes it just don't go according and you just need a few more, or you may have messed up, something like that. So we're just going to snip every single one of these. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now for the next step, what you're going to do, you can either take your Tombow. I've used the clear one as well as this one. I personally think they work pretty much the same, and then it's like you actually get more clear than you do than this one, more bang for your buck. They both dry clear, but anyways, but you can use this. I'm going to show you that first, and then I'm going to show you the hot glue. I do like using hot glue because it goes a lot faster, but you can use this. So what you're going to do is get a little bit of glue there where you got your slip mark, and you're going to just overlap those just like that. Then you're just going to hold on to it for just a second if you're going to be doing the liquid glue. So you're just going to have them overlap just like this. So hopefully you guys can see that. So you can see where I just overlap those over. All right, so let me do another one with this clear adhesive here. So you're just going to get you a dot of glue on there just like that. And then you're just going to get it to overlap just like this and hold it in place. All right, so what we're going to do, now I'm going to do the hot glue. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. So I'm just going to get a little bit of glue here and then just get that folded over and push down. So your hot glue is going to get you a whole lot faster, but I wanted to show that because just in case somebody doesn't have a hot glue gun or anything like that, or you're out of hot glue, it works just the same, or it's preference. Some people just really like to use these kinds of glues, but I did my other ones, the whole thing with these, but I definitely wanted to do this with the hot glue gun so I could speed it up a little bit. So I'm going to finish these off and we'll be right back. All right, so now I'm going to scoot those out of the way. Okay, so now that we've got all of our petals done, what we're going to do is you're going to take that circle that you had cut out. So now if you're wanting to do it more spaced out like this, what you're going to do is you're going to put one here and then one here. So you're going to glue one here, and then once you get those, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to go one here, and then you'll start adding in between those and keep going around. And that will bring it out more like this, okay? Now, you can either take it beforehand and start curling all these to make it a little bit faster. So all you're going to do is you're just going to take a stick, a pencil, whatever you want to use. This actually came in my bag of cotton. So I'm just taking it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and curl each one of these. But like I said, you can do it after the fact. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to curl each and every single one of these like so. You could do a couple of them at a time. You can stack 2 on each other at a time and actually get a couple of them done at a time. Okay, so now once we have them curled, what we're going to do, this is how I do mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of glue on the back side of this. And I like to bring mine in. So I'm not going to put it right here on the edge. I'm going to kind of bring it in just a little bit like so. And going to set it down on the edge like that. So you can see, like pretty much where you bent it is going to set up to the back side of this. So right where you have it overlap there, the back side, it's going to set right up against that. So you're just going to bring it in just like that. All right, so then what you're going to do for the next one, so this is just like making big flowers if you've ever done that. Add a little bit of glue on the back. And you're just going to kind of overlap these just a little bit, setting this right next to that one, just like so. All right, and my husband is pressure washing outside, so hopefully you guys can't hear all that. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit of glue. Same thing, I'm just going to keep kind of overlapping just a little bit and setting it right next to the other one, just trying to keep them all kind of lined up here going around the circle. All right, so I'm going to keep going all the way around this. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. All right, so just like that, that was our last petal. So now what you're gonna do, you can see it kind of looks just like this going all the way around. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna set one kind of right here, so it's gonna go in between these two, and the middle of it's just gonna come right between those two. All right, so I'm gonna set this just like that, and just keep going around. All right, so I'm going to come right next to that one, just kind of overlapping, just a little bit like that. Okay, so now you can see at this point I actually need one more, so it's a good thing that I went ahead and had made extras. So what I'm going to do, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get that twirled on the end, and I'm going to go ahead and overlap this just like we did before. And so that's why I say it's a good thing, because sometimes it just, if you don't space them out enough, or you know, it just don't line up just right, it's nice to have these extras on hand, so that way, that was a good example. So now this one took 13 instead of 12, so just like that. All right, so once we have that then, the next step, just like I've showed you before, I'm gonna go ahead and twirl this up. If you need to see how to do these, I'll have that video linked down below, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this twirled up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've got my center all made, now I accidentally made this one just a little bit smaller than the other one, but I'll make sure in the file down below that it'll be correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that down in here. All right. just like that. So so some of these, like whenever I did that video before, I wasn't too sure what some of these were. Some of them are actually centers. This one's actually probably a flower, but I'm using it as a center, but you could actually use these. So like the other flower that we're going to be doing, it's just like this, and I'm using it as a center. So just so you guys kind of know that. All right, so this one's ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the white one really quick. So for the white one, what we're going to do, same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them just like this. And now this one has 16 pieces, I believe. So I'll recount them here in just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to slit these the same way. So I'm just kind of cutting them about a ½ an inch, about a ¼ of an inch, something like that. Just barely down here at the bottom. You just need a little bit, because these ones, you're not going to really fold them all the way over like I did on the other one. Okay, so now for the white one, once you have them all cut, what you're going to do, which you could actually do this before you cut it, is just whatever you want to do. You're going to fold them just right in half, just like that. So you want to just fold them in half to kind of give them that crease. So each one, you just want to kind of go down and just fold them all right in half. And like I said, you could always do this right before you cut them. It's just whichever way that you want to do them. I just cut them and then do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. We'll be right back. So now that I've got them all cut and bent, what I'm going to do on this one is just going to be a little bit. So I'm just going to get a tiny bit of glue, and then I'm just going to ever so slightly bring that edge over. So you can see that I didn't even bring it hardly any over. It's just ever so slightly brought over. So it just kind of gives it that little bit. So you can see that it's just barely bent over. So you can see here, it's just very slightly. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. I'm just going to get a little bit on the corner here. Just takes a tiny bit of glue and just barely bring that edge over. So I'm going to go ahead and get all those, and we'll be right back. All right, so here we go. So we got our next circle. I've got all those done. Same thing, what we're going to do is when I place it down, basically the back side of this right here is going to sit right here on the circle. And then you're going to do the same thing, just overlapping. So let's go ahead and get that first one on here. Get a little glue on the back side here. And we're going to just pop that down just like that. So it should look just like that, okay? So like I'm saying, it's sitting on the back just like that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going. And this is going to be the same way. You're just going to kind of get them up together. But what I do is you're just overlapping down here and not up here. So just right down here, you've got a little bit of an overlap. So just like that. And then you're just going to keep going all the way around. So now I've got my bottom layer just like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and do the same thing. So I'm going to kind of get them in between just like that. So as you can see what I was doing before, sometimes I just add the glue directly in here, makes it a little bit easier, and then just pop this right down just like that. Now on this one, I ended up with 2 extras. So I did not last time. So that's why it's good to have all your pieces. So last time I used every single one, and this time I did not. So that's why, like I said, it's just kind of weird how the stars align. Okay, so now this is done, and I've already pre-rolled the inside here. So all we're gonna do is just add a little bit of glue on the back side, just like so. And then just center that up, just like that. And what I like to do is just kind of push down carefully with my hand, just like this. So you can see how cute that is. Now I probably made these flowers a little bit big for this board, but I mean, I'm okay with it. So if you wanted to, you may want to shrink these down just a little bit. So when you're in Design Space, let me talk about that real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. When you got your petals like this or like this, you know that you would need, between the sizes of flowers that you're going to do, between 8 to 16 petals, okay? 8 to 16 petals. And then just figure out, you know, what sizes that you want to do. So what you can do is take some scrap paper and then cut your pieces out. So like if you're doing a flower like this, cut all these pieces out. So like this one right here is about 2 inches long, and this one right here is about 2.5 inches long. So 2 inches, 2.5. So that way you can kind of get the feel. And this is making about a flower almost as big as my hand, about like that, about the palm size of my hand right here. So that way you guys can kind of get the feel. Just print them out. Play with the sizing on these because you'll need to print them out. That way you can put together a flower to see how many petals it's going to take for that size and stuff. So just take some old scrap paper and test it out. And then you can play with the centers. So take some of these flowers like this and then just play with those and make the centers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap up my rolls of my roses and we'll be right back. Okay, so now it's time to put it all together. So I've already got this side all glued down where I want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do it in the opposite direction. So I'll have the pink up here, the white down here, and then get that. So the first thing that I did, so I've already got mine this side glued down. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot this over so you guys can see it in frame. What I'm going to do now that I've got you guys in frame so you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is how I did it the other time. So what I did was I went ahead and got my leaf pieces down and my gold pieces where I wanted those to be. So say I want another one right about here somewhere. And then let's say that I want this one to be somewhere down like that. Okay, so say that's where I want those pieces to be. Then what I'll do is I'll do the same thing, trying to figure out exactly where I want my little roses to be, something like that. Okay, so say that I was happy with that. You can now see both sides. So this is what I did, okay? So what I did was, so like this one right here doesn't have anything underneath it. So I went ahead and glued it down first. So I just went ahead and added some glue to the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna put it down and then just push down really good. So there's the first one. Okay, so now for the next piece, what I'm gonna do is I wanna go ahead and glue, this is underneath this piece. So what I'm gonna do is set it out of the way. I just work one at a time so I can remember where everything goes. So what I'm gonna do is just carefully pick up a leaf here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Add a little glue down, and then I'll push down on this leaf just to get that piece going. Then what I can do is I can come back and kind of lift the other leaves just a little bit, adding glue a little bit as I go. So that's what I can do there. Now, the only piece that's gonna go on top of that is this orange one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it going. So I'm going from underneath up. So like I'll get that piece down just like that. So this piece is attached to this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and move this one out of my way, move that one out of my way. I'm gonna come back to this next leaf here. I'm gonna pick it up carefully, push down on it. Same thing with the gold one. I'm gonna add a little bit to the bottom of it. Now I'm just adding it on a little spot, as you can see, because once it's completely held down in at least one spot, I can go back and add glue under the other pieces, if that makes sense. So now like I know that this went there, this went here. So this one's not gonna have anything underneath it. So I can go ahead and add this one here. And I could go ahead and add this one here, just like that. Now I could have added a little bit of glue underneath these leaves, but I'm not too concerned because like this one's gonna end up holding those down. So you could just go underneath. So this is here. So what I'm gonna do is move it out of the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of glue underneath the rest of this piece that we've already glued down of this leaf. Get some there. And I'll go ahead, I'm just kind of holding this one in place. So I'm gonna do the same thing as we did before. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of leaf glue underneath this leaf, as well as this gold one here. All right, so just like that. So now once I have those kind of where I want them, I could lift them both up at the same time and kind of add a little bit of glue under these leaves here, just like that. Same thing with this gold one. I can lift it up. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm doing is just basically leaving these guys in place as much as I can, so that way I'm not having to mess it up and I know where they're at. So like this white one here is ready to go. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue here and I can go ahead and pop it down right here. And then now I can go ahead and add, and you can always just not glue some of these leaves down, that way they can kind of stick up and give it a little bit of a dimension. And now all of our flowers are completely glued down. So now what you'll want to do is just kind of clean up any little flyaways that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot this back in frame. hopefully you guys can see the whole thing in frame. So now everything is on there. Now these tiles, as I've mentioned at the very beginning of the video, this is a ceramic tile. These are, let me see about how long these are. Let's see, 12 by, let's see, about, these are about 23 inches long and about 6 inches wide. So about 23 inches long to 6 inches wide. These are at Lowe's for roughly about $1.19. So they're super affordable, but you could use real wood if you wanted to, but these are just the ones that look like wood, but they're tile. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna apply our vinyl and we're all done. This probably would have looked cuter with some white font, but you know me, I always go outside the box. So I did the gold, and this is from Parsby as usual. You would think I'm sponsored, but I'm not. Okay, I just really love their vinyl. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this burnished. Yes, I had one of my subscribers reach out, and she told me I was saying it wrong the whole time. I've been saying varnish, and it's actually burnish with a B. So thank you so much for that, because I definitely want to make sure you guys are, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, it's definitely nice to learn something new or know how to say something right, so I truly appreciate it. Okay, so now that I've got this on there, what I'm going to do is get it off. And like, once again, this is the contact paper from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully line this up. And what I did was I just kind of measured in design space to kind of keep it within this 8 inches here. All right, just like that. So this is the same thing. I'm going to kind of rub this in. So I'm going to get this burnished in here really good. But I am country, so you will hear me saying like rub, scrape, things like that. But I always kind of wondered, I really had a feeling I was saying it wrong because it's actually burnish, but varnish is what I would always end up saying. And I'll probably still end up saying that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just carefully, I forgot to get this piece over here. All right, so just like I've showed before, just kind of pulling it back like I'm rubbing it across the table. So I'm just going to carefully get that out of there just like that. So I'm going to zoom you guys. I'm going to show you guys, so hopefully you guys can see, because I know you guys aren't seeing that gold real good. So just like that, so you guys can see what that looks like. And you guys will probably have a really good image of it on my thumbnail, so hopefully you guys can see that better. But these would make super great gifts. Like I said, I got this idea from some people over there on Instagram. I was scrolling through there the other night and seeing these, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cute. So I wanted to recreate it, and I thought I would do that here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.